far when I'm by myself. I don't wanna hang around y'all. Pray for good health.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Combat Sports Weekly. And of course, with me are the Titos of Fighting, Karl De Mesa and JC Reyes of Destroy MNL. What's up, boys?
Yep, what's up?
Di ba? We're all
Monday na
loud and
naman.
clear. We're all loud and clear.
Magandang luto ay magandang gabi po. Yan lahat.
Magandang
Ano
gabi
yung
po sa inyong
pag-uusapan?
lahat.
Lutuan yan
Magandang gabi po sa
ngayong...
inyong lahat. We have so many things to talk about. We are
Yes.
going to recap everything that has happened in the world of fighting, all the combat sporting events. Albeit a lot of there was probably one controversial fight. We will try to discuss and dissect that one. Of course, we will do our best to provide our insights, and of course, we would love to know your comments, your suggestions. What are we missing? What are the other details? We are live on Facebook and on YouTube.
Yes.
On Facebook, we are live on Coach Franco's Corner and MMA Davao. On YouTube, we are live on Coach Franco's Corner. Make sure to subscribe to Destroy MNL on all of their social media outlets. And please, share this video, share this live. Diba?
Yes.
Let's get everyone into the discussion. First things first, let's kick this off with UFC Fight Night Ketar versus Chikazi. Chikatsu. Okay. Of course, I was favoring Brandon Royval to win over Rogerio Bontorin. He won via decision. And then in the heavyweight division, Jake Collier submitted Chase Sherman in the first round. Ano naman to normally naman yung fight nights yan yung mga up-and-comers eh. So,
Yeah.
people don't really put too much attention to it, or I mean, kung ano mo, medyo
It's an
talagang
undercard main event.
Oh, it's an undercard main event. However, Calvin Ketar versus Giga Chikazi had this little backstory kasi na si Giga, there's this little hype or this
Yeah.
medyo may hype around Giga eh, di ba?
Sobrang
And then,
up and coming kasi siya eh.
Oo.
Hot prospect.
Hot prospect talaga, and everyone's buzzing about Giga Chikazi, and then here comes Calvin Ketar, di ba? Just steamrolled and just destroyed the hype train.
Ang galing.
I mean,
Technical.
technical. It was a technical breakdown from round 1 to round 5. Even the commentators said na they didn't expect Calvin Ketar to manhandle Giga that way. Diba? Ayan. Sabi ni Michael Sison, thankfully switch to Ketar money line last minute. Diba? At least, diba? You know that Ketar versus Chikazi, but hindi sumisipa si Chikazi. Ano nangyari? Exactly. We don't know the entire story behind Giga's fight camp. However, that is true. It's very minimal. Parang there was little activity. We'll see what happens normally naman during, post-fight dyan lumalabas yung they were battling an injury or something happened or, di ba, normally naman fighters don't really go inside the octagon 100%. So, doon tayo nagkakatalo. So, nevertheless, we're not gonna take away anything from Calvin Ketar. He was on.
Damn.
He was on from fight. How was your experience watching that fight, Carl?
Grabe, did you guys see how the first round parang sige, itire muna natin siya. Was mostly on the ground, di ba, coach?
Yeah.
Tapos, nakita ko yung significant strikes. Afterwards, round 3 to round 5, talagang strategic. 55 significant strikes. Round 3, round 4, 48, round 5, 72, nangalahati na si Giga dun sa by round 5. So, wala na talaga. Deads na siya. You guys see that viral?
It was a demolition, di ba?
Yeah, and that viral photo where he had 8 really deep cuts.
And those were from the elbows. These were standing elbows. Diba?
Yeah.
These were standing elbows. Ay, of course, our favorite educator, Moireen. Diba? Hello, Mamoy. One of the best educators of, yung kahirapan at I see the struggles of our teachers, making sure that their students are learning amidst the pandemic. Ayan, si Mamoy, Moirine, ayan.
We appreciate you
She's
all
one
the
of those
years.
amazing individuals na talagang
Sure.
ito yung mga teachers na may malasakit sa educational system at sa mga estudyante niya. So it's amazing to have you over in the show. Going back to Ketar and Giga, yes, you if you see those photos on Twitter and on Facebook, those were from the standing elbows. One of the really potent weapons of really good strikers
May share lang
are
ako, coach.
go.
Tingnan mo to. Baka pwede nating gawin.
Try mo kung ma-share mo sa screen.
Ito. Baka pwede.
Kayang-kaya
Share
yan.
screen. Ito. Yan. Nasa iba yung controls, coach.
Teka lang. Meron bang nakita niyo po kami, di ba? Sinasama namin kayo sa aming kakwelahan dito.
Wala pa po kaming mga
breakdown.
telestration, pero mag-upgrade po.
Pero anong to? Teka, parang wala pa. Tingnan natin. Wala pa. Windows, Chrome. Wala eh. Titignan ko kung mabibigay ko sa iyo yung
Ayan.
yung pag-share.
Sige nga.
Dapat pwede yun.
Dapat pwede, di ba?
Oo.
Tapos StreamYard naman tayo. Just pa-illustrate how much damage this dude took.
Sige, try mo nga uli.
Sige.
Ganun. It's supposed to happen.
Oo nga. Anyway,
Weird.
it's a picture of Giga with all the 8
Yung niya, yung
viral
may
na
hati-hati siya.
Hati-hati kasi sobrang dramatic eh. Tipong hindi mo mag-gets kung paano naging war yun until you see this dude's face tapos almost completely clean si Calvin Ketar.
Oh, parang ang sabi niya ata parang this is after 5 rounds with 5 rounds with Calvin Ketar.
Yeah. Tapos merong #respect. Pag hindi ka pa naman na-respect yan.
Pag di pa naman nirespeto kalaban mo nun, ewan ko na talaga.
Ewan ko na lang I mean, sa totoo
Contender
lang.
na yan,
Teka lang,
diba?
parang tignan nga natin kung kaya kung
Lightweight.
Parang I think I know
Meron ka naman picture
photo
niyan,
that
diba?
I think I know the photo that you're sharing. I think this is it. Tingnan natin kung ma-share natin sa ating audience.
Demo, kahit mga 2 seconds lang. Para magamit naman natin mga features nitong
Features, di ba? Magawa naman, di ba? Para sa ba yun?
akala nila, mukha lang natin nandito.
Oo. Titos sa fighting lang tayo. Hindi tayo
Ayan.
super
How
titos sa
about
fighting.
that? Can you see that, people?
Ayan.
Yan.
Di ba? Ito mo yung mukha na
Grabe,
yan.
no?
Oh, ha? Pikit-pikit yung mata, di na siya makakita.
Grabe. No?
Di ba?
Grabe yung corner niya.
Just imagine the damage,
Oo.
Tsaka to, parang bro, tayo?
Friends tayo.
this is the crazy thing about fighters eh. Di ba? When they see, they maul each other in the face and then bigla afterwards, bro, picture tayo.
Sports lang po, sports.
Sports, di ba? It's very reminiscent of...
Saka si DC lang hindi magaganyan po.
Oo, hindi nila talaga gagawin yun. Di ba? The best, parang si Carlo Laurel versus Alvin Ramirez. Pareho sila naka-stretcher, pareho sila dadali sa ambulansya, pero nag-picture muna silang dalawa. Yan, ganyan ang mentality ng mga fighters natin. Di ba? It's very... I mean, this is just after the fight. Kita mo, that's when the swelling comes in and wala na. Talagang luha yung maga talaga. Parehong mata, maga. Diba? Parehong mata, maga.
It was a contender for, quick contender, fight of the year na daw yan. Early 2022.
Parang no question, Grabe yung beating na tinanggap niya
And
kita mo na yung mukha.
And January pa lang tayo.
Imagine, January pa lang.
Congrats, Calvin Ketar. Hopefully, umakyat siyang rankings. This title contention na siya.
Oo naman. Sa na yun? Sa labas.
Dapat lang naman.
Pura niya yung putang ina. Ewan ko na lang
Performance.
talaga Diba? That's amazing performance. Tapos,
Speaking of performance, deserving of 50 mil.
ay,
Mga
hindi.
ano.
Pag-uusapan natin. Mahaba yan. Mahaba yan. Nung pinagchichismisan namin, nagchichikahan kami niyan. Magkakaiba yung magkakaiba yung
Take
take
namin.
namin dyan. Kaya nga, we would love to know your take as well. The next stop is another Filipino prospect in boxing, Jade Bornea. Jade Bornea beat
Ayan.
Muhammad Obadi in Mexico via third round knockout. So please, everyone, this is amazing.
Yes.
Ang ganda nung pinakita ni Jade Obadi and
Jade Bornea.
Ay, sorry, ni Jade.
Mapag-mix up talaga natin.
Nagka-mix up. Muhammad Obadi yung kalaban. Then Jade Bornea yung boksingero natin. If I'm not mistaken, Jade is from Sandman Promotions. Tama ba?
Yes.
I think it's from Sandman Promotions. Sandman Promotions, and then Sean Gibbons and company coordinated and helped him get that fight. And now he is a step further, being
Actually,
the IBF.
Jade Bornea is now signed with
Probellum ba?
Probellum, yes.
Probellum,
Promotions nga.
So, Probellum Promotions sa Jade Bornea. He's gunning after the IBF belt, which is held by Jerwin Ancahas ba? Tama ba?
Yes, Jerwin Ancahas.
Diba?
So, grabe. That's actually a good sign for Filipino boxing.
That's a very good sign for Philippine boxing.
Dumadalas na ang
nakikita-kita na yung mga Pinoy.
Yeah.
Oo, nakikita-kita na talaga. Parang in that category, who are the champions I think it's in the same category. So, there's Ancahas. Is it the same category or weight class nila Nietes?
Si Nietes, yes, super flyweight, yes.
Super flyweight, 'di ba? Another very highly contested weight division. 'Di ba? There are so many champions, there are so many I mean the top 10 pa lang from that division is highly is high quality elite fighters. So for Jade Bornea to crack that list, 'di ba? And then he's a step closer to winning a title. However, yun nga lang, Pinoy versus Pinoy na naman tayo. Pero
saka,
again, just like...
yan si Jerwin Ancahas yan And interesting enough, si Jerwin Ancahas yung isa sa mga sparring partners ni Jade Bornea preparing for this fight.
Preparing for Muhammad Obadi, di ba? Diba? It's a very, the boxing community in the Philippines is a very competitive but very inclusive. One thing that I really advocate, and syempre yung mga hindi pa masyadong well-versed sa boxing community is ang tawag dito, let people know na the boxing community in the Philippines is a tight-knit community. Of course, there will be drama, there will be controversies, there will be hindi mo maiwasan yun kasi iba't ibang gyms to, iba't ibang personalities. Pero ang intention ng lahat, ang goal ng lahat ay maging world champion. Maging, di ba, makilala muna sa Pilipinas, maging Philippine champion, mag-campaign overseas, eventually maging world champion. At some point in their careers, lahat yung mga yan, either they trained together or they fought each other or they sparred each other. So, magkakakilala halos lahat yan. And walang no question that when it's time to fight, these people will fight. Diba? Walang no. You cannot question the heart. You cannot question the intention and the dream of each boxer. Now, ang pinaka gusto namin mangyari with the show is going back to our podcast with Kuya Jerry Peñalosa. Yan, me and JC were able to grace his show is sana magkaroon din tayo ng amor sa mga boksingero. Diba? Filipinos love boxing. Now it's time for the audience to get to know and love the boxers. Meron na rin naman Meron ng mga local boxers na may local fan base pero kailangan magkaroon tayo ng talagang connection, 'di ba?
Yes.
Importante 'yun Yung tipong pag sinabi mong fan ka ni Ryan Garcia, alam mo kung anong ginagawa ni Ryan Garcia, 'di ba? Pag sinabi mong fan ka ni ni Alvin Ramirez or ni Carlo Laurel, 'di ba? Or nila Rolando D. Medyo may investment ka, fina-follow mo sila sa social media, you're engaging in their posts, you're sending them positive feedback, 'di ba? Dapat may ganun tayo. Meron na ako nakikitang mga ganun sa local boxers pero we need more. Kasi marami tayong local boxers and they need our help, they need our support,
Yes.
'di ba? So,
And
it's one of the things
kasi
na
hindi mo rin pwede i-claim na you're a combat sports fan or you're a boxing fan na ang kilala mo lang yung mga sikat. I mean, you have to know the whole community. I mean, lalo na yung up-and-coming boxers kasi sila yung future of Filipino boxing.
Yeah, that's true. More often than not kasi I think JC said this during that episode as well. Nagkakaroon na lang ng fan base o nakikilala ng mga Pilipino pagka sikat na or nananalo na. 'Di ba? Ayan, to answer Mamoy's question, Maureen's question, yan yung sinasabi namin. That's the discussion of the show ever since. Filipinos love boxing. We're a boxing country. Pero we don't really know who the local fighters are.
Yes.
We have little to no knowledge of who these fighters are, not unless maingay sila sa social media or they have a solid fan base already. 'Di ba?
Parang for some reason, most people are boxer fans than boxing fans. They're more concentrated on the actual people involved than the whole community. I mean, if you say you're a ayun nga, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina ulit, if you're a boxing fan, wala sa grassroots, subukan mo man lang suportahan. I mean, ang dami-dami nating boksingero. I mean, may kita mo nyo naman, if you're a member of boxing groups, ang dami dyan ng mga up-and-coming boxers or mga gusto mga maging boksingero. Yung iba nga lang kasi medyo humahanap na shortcuts eh. I mean, diba? Other supposed up-and-coming boxers or those who dream to be boxers calling out each other on social media. I mean, I guess that's what the YouTubers have started. The people like Conor McGregor have started.
The YouTubers have great storytelling.
Diba?
If there's anything that can be learned from what the YouTubers are doing, yung pag-market sa sarili, hindi yung pag-call out.
Totoo. That's actually true. Diba? Now, I wanna ask this to Tito Carle. Like, coming from someone who came from an outsider's perspective, the way you saw mainstream crowds and then you immersed yourself in the world of combat sports, in the world of martial arts, medyo ikaw yung merong clear, kasi kami ni JC, insider kami. Insider ka, ikaw, at least ikaw, you have the best perspective on this. Kasi ikaw yung may journey na outsider perspective, mainstream exposure, and then immersion, and then super immersed and became part of the community. How is the situation from a mainstream media perspective leading into getting to know the community and its members?
So yung levels dyan, Coach, first of all, is not even the mainstream media. It's the entertainment perspective. Everybody gets to know the myth and yung template ng storytelling from the movies. Everybody's seen the Rocky, seen ano ba yung mga great, the Ali movies, ganyan. Yun yung first di ba? Before you can even actually, ay may ganun pala, and then you get into this, then into the real sports, see how these boxers, and then from there, okay pala siya, I really like this thing. So from that kind of marketing perspective, and it's such a, I think, a kind of maligned word when we say, i-market mo yung sarili mo mas maganda. Nowadays, hindi mo na kailangan yung tipong mag-acting. Kasi yun yung naiisip ng mga boxers palagi, I think. And the sportsmen, like, kailangan ko magsalita. Hindi ba pwedeng lumaban na lang ako? It's not even that. Because if you want to tell your story, and everybody wants to tell their story, you don't even need to, like, be somebody you're not. Parang palaging ganun yung harang in terms of putting yourself out there. So kung maboka ka, madali yun. Pero kung hindi ka maboka, may mga paraan to do it. And there's a market for you in terms of, again, it's such a maligned word. May market for you just for people to get to know you. So nowadays, so we have the super slick MMA yung introduction ko, no? So I just wanna click on that. Sa UFC, yun yung pinaka-slick, di ba? Galing, kakaiba. Tapos, and then you have the Asian one, which is, of course, one is the biggest in that, in terms of just how to package fighters na iba naman. Avoiding the fighting aspect of it, the nagiging inspirational.
The martial artist sila di ba? The martial artist.
Ganun di ba? Very quickly, merong term na inalis sa one. Now we know wala na siyang fighting, di ba? Kaya one championship na.
One championship na.
And that's because of the positioning na martial arts is not just fighting. They wanted to package themselves as an honorable, as a
everything bushido about martial arts.
Yan, ganyan. Kaya kita mo yung mga rise from poverty, rise from very very economically challenged odds. Nabully siya nung bata, ganyan. So yung mga ganong mga stories, marami tayong template na ganyan sa boxers din. And I think that's what the boxers need to understand in terms of marketing themselves. Just tell your own story.
Actually, that's perfect. Kasi these people have amazing stories. Akala lang siguro nila kasi it's not worth telling.
Yeah.
And
One
ako lang personal
example,
ko to, parang feeling ko nahihiya sila
Yes. Naalala mo nung nag-interview tayo kay Jeremy, he's a perfect example of someone who has a great story but somehow is reluctant or even parang nahihiya siya kasi very humble po yung beginning ko. Ganun. That's what we love about it. Diba? Even his reluctance to speak is a kind of parang yun na yung positioning Diba? Parang
fighters, you have to listen whoever's watching and listening to
that's
this,
a perfect example of not how to market yourself.
Exactly.
Diba? So please, okay, yan ang, diba, that's the blueprint. That's the blueprint, diba? Kung gusto yung hindi naman kailangan magpaawa, pero pakita nyo lang na I came from humble beginnings. Nagsimula ako sa ganito, diba? At nagsimula ako sa ganito, nagsimula ako sa kahirapan, ginamit ko yung boxing, ginamit ko yung martial arts para kumita ng extra na income. Then eventually, nagtatrabaho pa rin ako. Then eventually, ito na, nagsisimula na. I came out of poverty. My life's getting better. Now I have a gym. Now I have a coach. Now I have training partners. Progression yan Progression talaga yan. Walang superstar agad. Bihira.
The truth is your best storytelling tool, guys. Wala na kayong ibang gagawin.
Tsaka, iwasan nyo lang yung masyadong madrama, masyadong paawa, di ba? Feeling ko yun. I think that's what Karl, tama ba Karl? I think that's the winning formula for this Kasi,
on another range, si Joshua Pasio is such a great personality naman na kita mong hindi siya maboka, pero pag pinagsalita mo siya, kita mong bata pa siya.
That's true.
Again,
that's true. Galing.
Niya, diba?
And it helps. It helps. And I see na nakikita ko rin, ayan, si JC, he's been the one really into the boxing community as well, na he's showing people na ito yung kwento nyo, ito yung gawin nyo, di ba? Now, now, hopefully a lot of people will understand and listen to that. What I also want to cover is another good post by our co-host here, ng fellow Titos namin dito si JC, regarding yung mga kasi tama di ba? Okay siya for entertainment. Sige, explain mo JC, mo.
Kasi wait, hanapin ko yung exact post para masabi ko sa kanya.
Sige, habang hinahanap ni JC yan, would like to say hello to our very good friend Del Ballesteros. What's up, bro? Thank you for tuning in. Ayan, pag pogi lamang agad. Ayan, si Ryan Garcia. Tsaka, yun din Kaya nga sabi namin, medyo outlier si Canelo tsaka si Ryan Garcia. Kasi talagang, wala talagang pogi Pero yung mga fighters natin, natutuwa ako na medyo natututo na sila. Yan din yung medyo magandang effect ng mga YouTubers. Tsaka nakikita nila yung mga idol nila sa combat sports. Nagsisimula na rin na nagpo-post ng Diba, guys, gayahin nyo lang kung ano yung... Huwag nyo si McGregor, huwag nyo na ano yan. Kasi talagang gano'n yan eh. Diba? Character na yan. Outlier yan. Yan yung dulo. Yan yung
May language barrier pa minsan, coach, di ba? Tingnan mo yung nag-bridge na ganyan. Sorry, JC.
Go.
Yung nag-bridge na ganyan si Valentina Shevchenko dati, hindi marunong mag-English. Pero ang ganda ng storya.
Diba? So anuhin niya yan. Paunti-unti. Hindi kailangan sobrang lalim ng kwento.
Bihira kasi talaga yung obviously, bihira yung skills na nagsasalita for them para ma-market yung sarili. I mean, one of those very few, alam naman natin, si Manny Pacquiao, in MMA, ilan lang din yung mga ganyan na hindi na nila halos kailangan i-market yung sarili nila just to sell fights. That doesn't mean gagayahin mo na yun kasi nga, you're not at their level yet. Darating din kayo doon. So, anyway, yun nga, yung pinost ko the other day sa group na Bolo Punch Boxing Forum. Basically, it means, ang point ko doon is, kasi yung battle of the YouTubers na nagko-crossover na rin sa actual boxers to eh. Na hindi naman exactly natin kailangan. Kasi, personally, my father is, sa father side ko, we're Tagalog and probably even Ilocano. We don't know that part. Hindi rin ako marunong mag-Ilocano. But as far as I know, merong part na ganon. And my mom is from the Visayas, from Negros Occidental. So dito pa lang yung Bisaya versus Tagalog na matchup na sinasabi nila, sa akin pa lang gitna na agad ako. Kasi nga, Tagalog and Bisaya in one. Kaya lang, do we really need that kind of matchup? Kasi nahati lang tayo sa suporta natin sa boxers. There are a few boxers from Luzon or Tagalog boxers, what have you. Mas marami talaga sa Visayas kasi, well, alam natin in Luzon, we're mostly basketball people for some reason eh. Kahit saan ka umikot, pinakamaraming basketball court sa buong Pilipinas nasa Luzon. Lalo na within Metro Manila area. And yung division na ganito, I think, based on our history, it's something that our colonizers did.
Yeah.
Away kayo kasi
regionalism,
ibang isla kayo eh. Oo, mas madali namin kayong masasakop kasi magkakaaway kayong lahat. Pero yun nga, I mean, do we talk about yung rift na to na historically hindi naman na dapat kailangan, historically did us dirty kasi nga, I mean, kung
pero feeling ko nag-start to dun sa that battle of YouTubers na parang Bisaya lang ang malakas or Tagalog lang. Nagsimula yun.
Yeah, merong si yata to, si Jormiel Labador.
Yung kapatid ni Rendon, di ba? Started the whole
about the
trash talk
Bisaya
about
people, ganito ganyan na mahina daw mga Bisaya, ganito ganyan. I mean, that's a very backward mentality.
It was
thing.
It was actually smart. It was actually a smart move for his part. Okay, for his part, the way
brand niya eh.
Nabenta yung brand niya. When he was selling his bit, when he was selling his character, he was selling it really, really hard. And it paid off. It paid off talaga. Kasi, biruin mo, nagkaroon siya ng how would I, kung di mo continental rift ano ba to? Geographical rift di ba? Cultural, societal rift.
Regional rift siguro.
Di ba? Yeah, regional rift. Yeah, that's regional rift.
Yeah.
Di ba? Okay, thank you so much for everyone who's liking the show so far. Please continue doing it. We appreciate it. Para rin po medyo pogi kami sa algorithm ng mga platforms. Going back.
Po namin di po kami
pogi. It was
pogi.
very useful. It was very useful. He sold it. Pero yun nga just like what JC said, some people took it seriously.
Yeah. Way too serious.
Way too seriously, and then it carried over to the actual combat sports realm.
Yeah.
Kasi
may mga actual boxers na ganyan magsalita.
Nakita ko yun Kaya nakita ko na timely yung post ni JC kasi nga there are people who started debating about their region, their culture. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, we're all
naging
Filipinos.
seryosong discussion siya.
Oo, naging seryoso.
Naging
Ang
debate
delikado
of
kasi.
sorts na siya na
Feeling ko ako kasi the reason why I appreciated JC's post is because it was preemptive. It was cautionary kasi yung battle of YouTubers, they could probably call each other out, they could probably create content, and it has a purpose. Ang problema kasi sa combat sports, sa mundo ng combat sports, pag nag-call out yung mga yan, magsusuntukan talaga yan. Galit yan. Okay? So I think we have to distinguish the difference between entertainment and actual combat.
Yes.
So balik tayo dun sa lesson na gamitin nyo yung strategy. Gamitin nyo yung paraan para ma-market nyo yung sarili nyo. Diba? Medyo kung yung Bisaya versus Tagalog, 'di ba? Imbis
na sabihin ibang tema, marami na may ibang tema pwede niyo i-play.
Saka mababalik tayo dun sa thing na bakit ang dami-dami nating boxers pero ilan lang ang kilala ng mga tao. Imagine sa dami din ng content creators, yes, I'm calling you all out. Sa dami ng content creators sa boxing, ilan bilang sa daliri siguro yung pinag-uusapan niyo na boxers. Tas mas madalas pa nasa isang kamay lang yung isang kamay lang yung dami ng boxers na pinag-uusapan nyo on a given day kasi hindi mo benta. Paano naman makikilala?
Wala, para sa talaga para sa likes, para sa views, para sa
I mean, we have a lot of boxing promotions right now. Sa Ilorde, yung UKC, yung VSP, Sandman, Omega, Jerry Pins, ang dami. Pero at saka ang gaganda ng mga laban doon. But that's the thing, hindi sila kilala ng mga tao. Kasi the people who are supposed to be making content about them are not doing their part. They're doing their thing. I mean, I respect their hustle. Hustle nga I mean, doon sila kumikita Pero at least give these up-and-coming boxers, these small boxers, some space dun sa outlet nyo to talk about.
Alam naman natin lahat yan di ba? Tayo dito sa Titos of Fighting, super real talk lang kami dito di ba? At the end of the day, if you're making content for the likes and for the views, you're not making content for the community.
Yes. Don't ever say that.
Di ba? Siyempre, ang nagiging hierarchy mo is ikaw, di ba? Ikaw, yung channel mo para kumita ka. Next
you first.
You first, di ba? You first, and then your other agendas, and then
sa dulo na yung
sa dulo mo ilalagay yung serving the community. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Imagine
channel mo yun.
Kumikita ka while serving the community.
Ay, ang ganda.
The problem is it's a very long process. That's a very long process. Best example, Combat Sports Weekly.
Ang taon.
Actually.
Diba? Where I mean, ako, if you look at my channel, yan, go to YouTube, Coach Franco's Corner, you barely see me post anything na ito po ang ating ganito yung ba daming katarantaduhan na clips, wala man lang substance. Anong pinopost ko? I post the fights of fighters, di ba? I post the fights of fighters that I covered. Yung mga events na kinover ko, I post them. Kung meron akong oras mag-edit, ipopost ko yung actual fight without commentary. Why? Kasi I want the fighter to use that footage to be part of his portfolio. So yung mga ginagawa ko, like for example, I cover VSP promotions, I cover si Jerry Pence. Pag meron akong kopya nung mga laban, yung raw file, yun ang i-upload ko kasi I mean, para yun sa fighter Yun yung problema Medyo we're not hindi namin inaangat yung mga bangko namin dito, pero yun lang din pinapakita namin yung difference ng platforms namin sa platforms ng iba na kami baliktad. We agreed to this we signed up for this na first would be the community. First is to serve the community and the fighters.
Because we're fans.
Kami nang huli. Yeah, because we're fans.
We're fans.
Diba? Fans kami nung fighters, fans kami nung community, fans kami nung sport. And nakita namin na walang gumagawa noon. Meron na rin pa ilan-ilan. I mean, they're doing a great job. They have a lot of following. Pero we need more of that. Diba? Kasi ang model naman ng mga content creators like us is pag umangat kasi yung community, pag umangat yung fighters, umangat yung community, lahat tayo aangat.
Yeah.
'Di ba? There's plenty for everybody. Ang I share this sentiment with JC na parang there are big channels and this is not to diss them, pero doon mo makikita yung priority, pero doon mo makikita na ang priority nila ay sarili nila, pero kung i-advertise nila yung mga channel nila para raw sa boxing community, I'm like, come on, wag na tayo maglokohan dito.
I personally called out a couple of them from months ago. And you know what I got?
Wag mo nang pasikatin yung mga yon. Tama na yung ano nila. Tama
keep it
na
real.
Yung,
keep it real daw.
Yeah.
Keeping it real lang tayo. Diba? Ayan, kita nyo. Yan, Gerald Galangil, one of the really good fighters coming out of the PMAF and EMAF program. Thank you. Pugay din sa'yo, kaibigan. Our favorite coach, Coach Gabay. Ayan, I hope the fight community appreciates the soap opera side of the Battle of YouTubers.
Yan po ang ating drama.
We have nothing against the Battle of YouTubers. Yes. It's actually good. It's actually
good. May line lang na dapat hindi i-cross nung storyline nila eh.
Oo. Diba? Even when I got into
it's for entertainment.
Ano ba to? When I went into the Powerful Comics Man podcast, he asked me the same question. I said, no, it's beneficial for the combat sports community. It's beneficial for the fighters. It's beneficial for the content creators. It's beneficial for everybody. Ang kailangan lang is, kung merong gayahin ng tama or gayahin ng may tamang diskarte. Okay? Para lang, ayan. Ricky Enriquez, isang malaking hello sa'yo. Hey, hope you're enjoying the show. Ayan, paano?
I hope you're okay down south.
Hope you guys are okay. Alam mo, yung ikaw ang i-shoutout namin, ikaw ang i-washout namin palagi, Sir Ricky, di ba?
Yes.
Dahil
sana makarecover na kayo.
Diba? Makarecover kayo dyan. Di ba? Iron Bunny, baby. And then, next up, another boxing news. Very excited for this fight. Mark Magnifico Magsayo versus Gerald Butler Jr. JC, how do you see this fight going?
Merong update after natin pinag-usapan to dun sa show ni Champ Jerry Peñalosa. Biglang may news of apparently si Gary Russell Jr. not having a coach. Yung tatay niya hindi niya pala nakakasama all throughout the training kasi
the dad got amputated, diba?
Yeah, got amputated. I'm not sure kung anong exact condition kung bakit siya na-amputate, pero I mean, yung father and son tandem nila sa pagbuo ng game plan, sa pag-training. Apparently for this fight wala kasi nga, I mean, how can you train someone kung hindi ko alam kung isang paa lang o dalawang paa, pero it doesn't so pretty much Gary Russell Jr. does not have a coach right now, and si Magsayo naman, I mean, syempre tuloy-tuloy yung training niya. We'll see how this situation sa side ni Gary Russell will affect his performance sa fight, lalo na kung as he claims tinitrain niya yung sarili niya. Parang medyo mahirap yun. 2 years off, tapos tinitrain mo yung sarili mo for a big fight, title defense.
Gary Russell is the current WBC champion and Mark Magnifico Magsayo is gunning after his belt.
Yes.
Just like what we previously discussed, Gary Russell is coming off a 2-year hiatus. He hasn't fought in 2 years. Mark Magsayo just won his latest fight against Julio Ceja via 10th round knockout. He's been the more active fighter. He hasn't come home during the holidays to continue training in the States. He is training under Freddie Roach. He's on a winning streak. Both fighters are actually on a 3 to 4 fight winning streak. Pero Mark Magsayo is the more active fighter. And a lot of hype and a lot of expectations are on Magsayo's side. Now, this doesn't mean that Gary Russell is a pushover. He's the champ, for crying out loud. So siya yung kailangan manalo in a very convincing fashion si Magsayo. Everyone, please put it in the comment section. What are the chances of Mark Magsayo winning this fight?
Just to note that the only loss sa career ni Gary Russell Jr. at the moment is via a majority decision loss against the Vasily Lomachenko.
Diba?
So hindi basta-basta yung talo niya.
No pushover. One thing that's really good about Gary Russell is his footwork, his hand speed, his quickness, his combinations. Yun ang keys to victory ni Gary Russell. On the other side, Mark Magsayo, it's his aggression, it's his length, he's taller, he's longer. He is the more active fighter. So in terms of getting through fight camps, peaking at the right time, diba? He is there. Now, if we're going to add in the factor of the training camp, definitely lamang si Magsayo because Freddie Roach is there all the time. Now, to echo and to add sa point ni JC, isang napakalaking bagay ang coach sa isang training camp. Sobrang importante. Yung coach ang nagagalit, yung coach ang nagsisermon, yung coach ang nagsasabi sa fighter na hindi enough yung ginagawa niya. Yung coach ang nagsasabing, hoy, tamad ka today. You do more. Kasi kung hindi, if you're training yourself, di ba, wala nagsasabi sa'yo na... pag sinabi mong, pagod na ako, bukas na uli, bukas na lang, bawi na lang ako bukas.
Connor.
Di ba? BJ Pen. Diba? Yung yung problema. Now, hindi rin natin alam kung totoo to, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Diba?
Baka mental part of the
baka
mental
maya,
game.
'di ba? Baka maya ano lang to ng camp ni Gary Russell na, "Oy, let's tell everyone na I'm training myself." Kasi ba't mo aaminin 'yun, Para sa akin, ba't mo aaminin na wala kang coach? Para sa akin, hindi mo dapat inaamin 'yun This is probably part of a game plan na sana hindi pakinggan ng camp ni Magsayo just to give them na para, uy, wala raw yung airpods niya, baka ano yan. Kasi,
so could be a play.
It's definitely a play. For me, ikaw, Carl, how do you see this?
It seems stupid, man. Like, why say that? I'm training myself, but...
ikaw, JC.
It might be incredibly stupid or incredibly smart play.
Diba?
Well, feeling ko nga pwedeng play lang kasi I mean yung mga ganyang bagay dapat sinisikreto yan
Exactly. Diba sa akin lang ako rin I totally agree. Yung mga ganyang bagay, you don't really say that to the press. Hindi mo sasabihin sa media na parang any problem sa camp mo ngayon. Actually, wala akong coach.
It's just like how fighters hide their injuries coming into fights.
So, nung nalaman ko yun, parang, holy, what? Ba't niya inamin yun? Baka tsaka ito lang din yun. Nasa modern technology na tayo ngayon. Kahit naman nasa ospital yung tatay ni Gary Russell, pwede naman naka-zoom siya dun Diba? Sasabihin niya, what you doing there?
It's a pad holder.
Diba?
Check lang naman yung tatay niya ng galaw niya.
Diba? Sasabihin naman ng tatay niya, do 1 more round. Do 5 more rounds. Pwede niya nang gawin yun. So para sa akin talaga, this is all a play. For me, when I agree with what Carl said, it's pretty stupid. It's pretty obvious. It could be a play. Diba? Sabihin na nating, this is coming from the perspective of a coach and a fighter. Someone says that, I'm not gonna be complacent. I'm not gonna say na, okay, medyo I'm gonna let up on training. Medyo magre-relax ako sa training kasi wala palang coach to So, maraming factors yan. Kasi baka maya-maya nga naman, ploy yan para magbaba ng intensity tsaka focus yung Magsayo para ma-distract siya, di ba? So again, Mark, tawag dito, may message kita. Sabi ko sa'yo, bro, siguro alam mo na to, pero remind lang kita, wag kang maniwala sa mga pinagsasabi ng media.
Mark Magsayo naman, he's not the type of boxer na nagiging complacent pagdating sa mga laban.
One thing that's really what do you call this? One thing that I really like about Magsayo's camp right now is that everything is coming together. Diba? Coming from Ala, diba? He had troubles before. For sure, management troubles yan. And then, siya ngayon? Medyo maganda yung trajectory niya, pataas ngayon. And he's getting the fights that's making him money. He's getting the fights that's getting him recognition. And he's delivering. Kasi ang problema doon, i-set up ka ng fight tas hindi ka nanalo. Puta, ano ka dyan? Baba ka sa rankings dyan. That's why
Yeah.
And if you know the world of boxing, kung alam mo yung mundo ng boxing, it only takes one loss para sobrang bumaba yung ranking mo. So, ano rin to naging issue rin kasi to dati na parang masyadong catered daw or masyadong inalagaan yung record daw ni Magsayo na namimili ng kalaban sa kanya.
Parang cherry pick daw yung mga una niyang
Oo, para sa akin kasi walang
kalaban.
masama doon kasi inuuna mo yung
Everybody
record
does that.
mo.
Ano sa umpisa ng career mo?
Hindi,
I'm
kasi
sure.
sabihin na hindi, if you're playing the game right, 'di ba?
Yeah.
You pad your record para viable ka, para maganda ka sa promoters, 'di ba? Tapos, pag binigyan ka na ng break or binigyan ka na ng very challenging fight, 'di ba? Magsayo pa rin 'yon to deliver or not.
Yeah.
And so far he's delivering. And may maganda yung momentum sa side niya ngayon. So I really really hope na he's not gonna listen to this news, 'di ba? Maintain niya yung focus niya. I love the focus of Magsayo right now. Maganda yung focus niya, maganda yung chemistry niya with Freddie Roach. Every fight meron ako nakikitang improvement sa game niya. And ang isa pa doon is yung management team behind him is also working with him. 'Di ba? He's with 'di ba? What do you call this? MP promotion siya, 'di ba? Tama ba? Oh, alam ko MP promotion siya, sila Sean Gibbons 'di ba?
Si Mark Magsayo, MP promotion.
'Di ba? So the team behind him is really working hard to work with him as well. So, ano 'yan? It's a very good working relationship. Everybody is focused on this goal and Magsayo is putting in the work. So maganda yung momentum so far. So I hope he carries it over towards that fight. Kasi ngayon when the fighter says that he's training himself, sobrang delikado talaga 'yun. 'Di ba? Kasi ba't mo aaminin na you're training yourself? So it's either you're playing the game or you're conning your opponent. This is a psychological tactic. Or kung totoo man 'yun, ano 'yun? You're setting yourself up for failure, 'di ba? Inaano mo na, naghahanap ka na kagad na sineset up mo na yung excuse mo para pag natalo
Umpisa
ka
pa lang may
sasabihin mo.
excuse na hindi pa
Di ba sasabihin mo wala talaga wala AirPods ko sa akin. Hindi yung AirPods may head coach, imposibleng walang assistant head coach, 'di ba? Kasi even for Manny, there's Freddie Roach but there's also Buboy, 'di ba? So dapat meron yan, may coaching staff yan. Next up is we'll take a quick detour. March is a really really good month for boxing because VSP Promotions is creating a fight card headlined by no other than the amazing Charlie Suarez. Charlie Suarez is gunning after the WBA Asia Super Featherweight title against Tom Jun Mangubat. So I pray that all the fighters will be fine. Walang mangyayari sa fight card na to. Okay, VSP Promotions has been making things happen in the world of local boxing. VSP Promotions is also working very closely with Elorde Promotion. So thank you so much for making this happen. So again, that's Charlie Suarez versus Tom Jun Mangubat. So far, the fight card has the likes of Lawrence Rosas, John Estrada. John Estrada is a very exciting boxer. Sobrang halos lahat to knockout. Laging always running for kasi ang lakas sumuntok itong taon to. John Estrada. This is definitely co-main event. Carl James Martin is also gonna be in the card. We're still waiting for his opponent. Pero again, everything is coming together. We want we wish this event success, and of course the Titos of Fighting will cover this event for you so that we can give you a proper breakdown of what happened. But so far, yes, yun ang natin. Para sa akin kasi, this is a good break for Charlie Suarez. Charlie Suarez is a byproduct of the amateur training program of the Philippines. He's one of the more active fighters since 2020 to 2021. As in, lahat ng pwedeng laban niya. And he's passed all his fights with flying colors, winning via unanimous decision, and majority of his fights puro TKO victory. So please, ayan, another fighter na kung gusto nyo, if you're a fight fan, yan, panoorin nyo yan, Charlie Suarez.
Yeah,
Okay,
sino?
Charlie Suarez, Carl James Martin, John Estrada, Arnel Baconaje, yan,
Dami
these
nila.
are, ang dami. Kaya nga ako, ayan din, when I look at the boxing
i-memorize sa mga
groups,
pangalan nila pero talagang madami
diba, yung mga
silang
sinasabi ng tao,
mga
sino ang magiging mukha ng Philippine boxing? That's not really a bad statement. Or when they say, sino susunod na Manny Pacquiao, parang sinasabi ko, hindi eh. Bakit hindi natin gawing 10 yung mukha ng boxing ng Pilipinas?
Oo.
Diba? Kasi pwede naman eh. Ang dami nila. Lahat sila magagaling. Isipin nyo na lang, sino yung mga champion natin ngayon? You got Angkajas, you got Jonas Sultan, you got Donaire, you got Casimero, diba? You got Yumir Marshall. These are all unique fighters. May kanya-kanya silang style, may kanya-kanya silang diskarte, may kanya-kanya silang personality. So bakit hindi, diba, you got Magsayo, for crying out loud. So dapat lahat suportahan natin sila. Hindi pwedeng sino ba yung ano natin, di ba?
Namimili din kasi sila dun sa based on the boxing styles
diba?
of these fighters. I mean, may mga ayaw nilang panoorin kasi daw boring kasi patient yung ibang boxers natin. Nagbabago na yung ano. Mabalik lang ako ng konti doon sa Jade Bornea versus Muhammad Obadi na laban. If you notice how Jade Bornea was fighting, ibang klase. That's not how Pinoys used to fight. Nakikita nyo na yun. Makikita nyo gano'n na nag-upgrade. Sabi ko nga na pinapanood ko, sabi ko, usually Pinoy sugod na sugod ah. Ito, nag-aantay siyang nagka-counter punching, tapos nag-aantay siya magkamali yung kalaban. Pag may opening na, papasok siya na yung style na pasok niya parang pinaghalo mo
very
si
patient
Manny Pacquiao
guy.
Diba?
Parang pinaghalo mo si Manny Pacquiao at Juan Manuel Marquez yung pasok niya kada.
Sino ba yung mga ganyan? Yung mga methodical na fighters, yung mga they're gonna break you down slowly. One of the really good examples na ganyan, si Ben Ligas.
Yes.
Yan, si Ben Ligas, he's gonna break you down round by round. Tapos maugulat ka na lang na nalalanta ka na. By the 7th round, medyo bugbog na yung katawan mo. Tapos feel mo, namamagana yung mukha mo. Yan, Ben Ligas is one of those fighters. Sila Marklin Itim. Si Marklin Itim nga lang, medyo nakikipagsabayan eh. Talaga nakikipagpalitan ng mukha yan eh. Sino po ba? Pero hindi, this is a knockout artist eh. Kenneth Jover is a knockout artist. Jover Amistoso, yan. Yan yung mga these are all patient, these are all methodical fighters. Nag-aano talaga sila. Kasi they're all, tulad na sinabi ni JC, nag-i-improve. Tumataas yung level. Diba tumataas yung level ng boxing sa Pilipinas? Hindi na tayo yung blow by blow days na. Wasakan tayo ng mukha.
Pero wala tayong shortage of brawlers dati, diba?
Yeah. Yes, that's true. I think feeling ko ngayon, we don't have a shortage of brawlers.
Wala. Pero
I think we'll never
dadagdagan lang tayo ng more technical boxers sa Philippines, which is amazing.
That is very true. And I like what I'm seeing. I enjoy the fights that I cover and the fights that I share here. And I mean, kailangan tignan mo lang naman kung ano yung mga sa dami ba naman ng boxing content creators at ng boxing content out there. We have the talent. Okay, we have the talent. Mag-focus tayo sa mga boksingero. Mag-shift lang tayo. Shift natin ng konti na bigyan natin ng spotlight yung mga boksingero kasi para sa kanila rin naman yun eh. Sila rin naman yun. And of course, the main event of our discussion is, please put it in the comment section, okay? Who do you think won between Supergirl versus Ekaterina Vanderyeva's fight? Okay? Ekaterina Barbie Vanderyeva versus Supergirl. Supergirl is from Maroc Force Gym. And hindi ko alam kung saan gym si Ekaterina Barbie Vanderyeva.
Belarus gym.
Ayan, so this happened over the weekend or on Friday Friday from the recent One Championship na event. We were able to watch it. A lot of people thought that Barbie was robbed. So we're we're gonna lay down our discussion
Hot
points
take.
hot take. Okay, we would like to know kung ano ang what are your thoughts about this fight. Let us know if did Supergirl do enough? Did she win? Or was Barbie robbed? Okay, let's start with Tito Carl, then JC, then I'll finish. Sige, Tito Carl muna.
Okay. Well, first of all, I really enjoyed yung Heavy Hitters event. Kasi may mga gems na hindi lang yung pinag-uusapan namin ngayon. Kasi
may heavy hitters talaga. May heavy
hitters talaga. 'Di ba? Yung bata ni Khabib na si Saikid. Oh my lord, it looks like one weight class above that American Japanese guy.
Ragdolled his opponent.
James Nakashima, di ba?
But that's not a pushover, man. That's an NCAA champ. Na parang gulpi ng Russian, chong. Okay, so the dude called out Aoki, Eddie Alvarez, Christian Lee, like
he put everyone on notice.
Good for you.
Everyone on notice.
Congrats for Abib. Apparently, he is in a hotel with COVID. So, yeah, good for your kid. Good for your boy. Also, before we go to that, congrats kay Panda. Pangalan niya, JC? Si
Xiong Jingnan,
champ of the atomweight. Good title defense. Also, yun nga si Tawan Chai versus Semapech. Si Semapech, if you guys don't know, is one of the legends of Muay Thai. So for a 22-year-old Tawan Chai from Trainer Gay's camp to beat this guy, it's iba na improvements. Matindi na. And on to Barbie versus Supergirl. First 2 questions, guys. How tough is Supergirl? Hindi, di ba?
Super tough.
And how ripped is Barbie? She looked like I fed her. Like, sabi ko, laki ah. That is a Nordic Russian woman in her prime, di ba? Pero grabe kasi, round 1, galit yung mga gamblers dyan sa Muay Thai sa Thailand. Mga sumusugal si Barbie, di ba? Hindi sila makapagsugal, JC. Then round 2, our famous, if you saw the fight, at 2:30, there was this huge flurry from Barbie na puro parang Fernando Poe na. Sabi ko, grabe ginagawa niya. Di ba siya magagas out? Sige,
barrage kung barrage. Ubos kung ubos.
Kasi si anong pangalan nung referee na French, si Olivier Cos, like, lapit na. Hindi. Defend yourself. And then she flurried again at around 5 minutes. May hematoma na like 2. Supergirl. Pero most of it kasi nakuha sa arms. Yung mga ilang nakalusot, malalakas talaga. Mga overhands, meron siyang nahuli si Supergirl sa ear. Tapos, ito na, nag-chicken dance na. Muntik na namang ma-stop. Round 3, ito na. Mukhang napagod na si Barbie. So, at the end, I really thought because it was scored, again, as a whole, hindi daw per round, the story of this Muay Thai fight would be an easy, unanimous decision. But again, hindi nga nangyari yon. At the end, ang nangyari, may 50K si Barbie and may immediate rematch. So kung ako lang si Supergirl, parang dapat pala natalo na lang ako kasi wala akong perang 50 mil. That's in pesos, guys, that's almost 2 million pesos.
2.5 million pesos.
2.5, there you go. So ako parang,
goodness.
Wala, natalo na lang ako. Another thing, for me kasi, it was not so much a robbery as maybe a misunderstanding of the judges in how they should score. Kasi kung traditional Muay Thai siya sa Thailand, tama nga naman, panalo si Supergirl. Kasi yung volume yung inaano, di ba? Hindi yung damage. Yung storya doon is, I think si Coach Franco yung nagsabi na, oo nga, ganun yung sa Thailand, na mas marami kang volume, and then mas marami kang hits. Kaysa doon sa dramatic na, ang dami mong trino, pero hindi ka naman naka-damage. Alright. Ang result nito, sa dulo, another interesting thing is how one championship has already disbanded its review competition committee. Which, what does that mean, di ba? Let's discuss that later. Pero, ang previous niyan, kaya may mga ganyang nangyayari. Kaya, tinigil na nila yung pag-review dahil dun sa Pechmorakot versus Petrosian, mayroong controversial decision. Kasama na po dyan yung yung nangyari sa ating fighter na si Denise Zamboanga versus Sohee Ham. Also a controversial decision. So sabi ni Juan, di na kami makikialam. Kung may mangyaring controversial, magre-rematch na lang tayo. Ganun na lang. And that's what Chatri did. And I would just like to quote him because sometimes I give him a lot of wrongfully addressed. Sir, okay, let me clear the air. And let me quote you verbatim right now. And when you said you were super impressed and you just don't see how Barbie lost that fight, I agree. And he also said na he knows Muay Thai and Ekaterina won that fight easy. Thank you so much for giving them that immediate rematch. Now, there will be no controversy.
JC.
Isa sa mga interesting bagay kasi for after the whole thing, it's even si Supergirl nag-post I think it was on her Instagram.
Nag-sorry siya, di ba?
Nag-sorry siya kasi she knew that she under-delivered na alam niyang alanganin yung performance niya for that fight. Hindi niya sinabi ng diretso, pero I'm guessing sa loob-loob niya alam niyang talo siya. So, hindi nga, weird pa yun. Sinabi nga ni Chatri na he believes si Ekaterina won, pero tanggalin na natin yung review. Basta mag-rematch na lang kayo.
Kasi naman sabihin niyo ano yung rules.
Di ba? Gano'ng katagal na yung one super series na to, wala pa rin nakakaalam kung ano talaga yung rules net nung kickboxing and nung Muay Thai. So, tama nga naman, kahit anong debate natin about the results of fights, lalo na sa one super series, sa kickboxing and sa Muay Thai, puro debate lang tayo, pero how are we actually scoring it kung hindi natin alam kung
baka naman mali-mali tayo, di ba?
Baka nga tama yung mga judges, tayo yung mali, kasi hindi nga naman natin alam kung ano yung scoring system and ano yung tunay na rules nito. Kasi K1, was it, tama ba? K1 inspired?
K1 modified.
Modified K1 rules.
What is that?
Una-una, paano nyo minodify? Pangalawa, saan namin makikita yung modifications?
Yung pang modification, konting hilot modification na pagka medyo alam niyo na.
Feeling ko may mababad naman.
Modify natin ang konti.
Pero hindi ako yun.
Alam nyo, kaya tayo na bablock.
Feeling ko hindi na lang ako yung block mamaya.
Nagtatanong lang kami. We are just asking questions. Kasi
clarifications.
Just like every other fan of your promotion.
We respect you.
Want to know what's going on. We want to know. We want to understand, lalo na dito sa kickboxing and sa Muay Thai, kung ano talaga yung rules and how you really score the fights. Kasi, yun nga, I mean, katulad niyan, sabi ni Chatri, si Ekaterina should have won, sabi ng judges, si Supergirl ang nanalo, pero
bakit si Supergirl kala niya hindi siya nanalo?
Hindi, I guess, based on her post, she doesn't believe that she won. So, mukhang. Pero hindi niya masabi ng diretso kasi,
kasi nanalo
siya. Kung maaminin na natalo ka.
Diba? Everyone, yung mga nanonood, who do you think won? Put it in the comment section. Barbie or Supergirl? Okay? Just put it in the comment section. Barbie or Supergirl. Now, my take on this fight is I have to approach it from ako rin medyo
as somebody who's judged a lot of fights, di ba?
Naguguluhan din ako on what is the proper rule, what rules are we following sa Muay Thai ng one championship. So sabihin na natin, let's focus on traditional Muay Thai kasi ako I'm assuming I could be wrong, di ba? I could be wrong, pero it's probably 1FC has this modified rule set. However, the judges that they're getting are Muay Thai coaches or Muay Thai martial artists from the traditional background. Now, I watched the fight at least minimum ko lagi 3 to 4 times to have a better understanding. I had it split decision for Supergirl. So I gave round 1 to Supergirl, round 2 to Barbie, round 3 slightly, okay, narrowly to Supergirl. Okay? So let's break down this fight. And for us to have a proper breakdown of the fight and we can be guided accordingly para sa education nating lahat. When you talk about Muay Thai rule set, okay? Malaki ang emphasis sa paa. Okay, when you talk about Muay Thai fights, Muay Thai judging, okay? The emphasis will be the utilization of the lower body. So how many kicks did you throw? How many knees did you throw? Secondary weapon ang kamay, ang suntok.
Yes.
Okay?
Set up siya, set up weapon siya.
Set up lagi ang suntok. Now, when it comes to the upper body, the way I understand the rule set is set up ang fist, tapos mas malaki ang emphasis sa elbows. Okay? So, yun na yung rule set in mind. So when you look at the entire fight, okay? So let's look at this from an entire perspective. The entire fight, Supergirl threw more leg kicks. Mas maraming binatong sipa si Supergirl. Now, whether they landed or not, sa mata ng judges, maraming binatong sipa si Supergirl. If you're a traditional Muay Thai judge, okay? You're gonna give round 1 to Supergirl kasi aggressor si Barbie, pero again, it was a lot of punches. If you watch the first round, mas maraming sipang binato si Supergirl and he had those push knees. Diba yung push knees? Ang daming push knees. So lahat yun points for her. Now,
there was also a lot, coach, of taking the center for Supergirl. Diba?
So another angle na tignan nyo is towards the second half of the first round, lahat ng overhand shots ni Supergirl tumama sa mukha. 'Di ba? They were konti lang siya, pero when it comes to impact, sapul na sapul yung mukha ni Barbie.
Pumasok,
'di ba? Pasok. So, if we're gonna score the fight of sabihin na natin, let's do this per round, So, first round, mas maraming binatong sipa, mas maraming push knees, and then Supergirl initiated clinches. Lamang na siya doon. 10-9. Diba? Sabihin na natin, Barbie did her part. 10-9. Diba? Second round, tides have changed. The pinnacle of that round was yung barrage ni Barbie. Pero how much of those punches, ilan dun sa mga binato niyang suntok ang tumama sa muka, ilan dun ang tumama sa braso? Yun ang problema. Diba? That's the problem with flurries.
Yeah.
It looks like
you're doing something.
Diba? It looks a lot. Diba? It looks a lot. Pero, ilan ba dun yung tumama? And it wasn't enough for Olivier to stop the fight kasi nga, diba? Hands were up. She was defending. She was still intelligently defending herself. And lalong-lalo na sa perspective ng referee, makikita mo sa braso tumatama. Diba? So again, babalik tayo sa rule set. Ano ba ang emphasis ng rule set? Mas mataas ang puntos ng mga sipa, ng mga tuhod, ng mga ano. Yung barrage na yon, kamay ang ginamit. So unfortunately,
arguably, no knockdown as well.
No knockdown as well. So, may damage, yes. Pero enough to score the round. Sabihin na natin yes, 'di ba? Let's reward Barbie's aggression kasi all throughout the second. However, second half of the second round, lalong-lalo na yung last 45 seconds, nakita mo wala. Ubus si Barbie. Ubus. Para sa judges, malaking factor 'yun. So she probably, di ba, some judge would probably give her that. Ako if I was judging that, I'll reward her aggression kasi she pushed the pace, siya yung aggressor, siya yung nag-dictate nung buong round. Di ba? Second half na lang nung round or yung later seconds na lang nung round, dun siya kita mo talagang, makikita nyo, replay nyo yung fight talaga, bumagsak. Malaki yung factor na yon. Third round is the most critical round. pinakita ni Barbie that she was still gassed. Yun ang problema. 'Di ba? Ano yung winning? Ano yung nagpapanalo kay Supergirl doon? She was the one moving forward. She was the one moving forward. She was punching. She was kicking. 'Di ba? Sa mata ng judges, and if we're basing this on traditional Muay Thai, like lumpini, may gambling, yung first 2 rounds, minsan, baliwala yan.
Wala yun.
Diba? Magsisimula tayo.
Yung mga sugarol na, yung mas
championship rounds talaga nag-base.
Magsisimula tayo 3rd or 4th round eh. And in the 3rd round, Supergirl clearly was the aggressor. She was moving forward. She was throwing punches. Yes, bumabato si Barbie pero counter-punching. Ibig sabihin, nagre-retaliate lang siya. Umaatras siya. By traditional Muay Thai rule set, hindi siya advantageous. Hindi ka mananalo dun.
Yes.
Kasi
and it seems like the judges were scoring that way.
Exactly. Ako that's how I understand it. Kaya when Supergirl won, I accepted it. Kasi wala eh. 'Di ba? Second round lang talaga yung sobrang Barbie.
Dramatic.
'Di ba? Tapos she almost finished it. As in,
in fairness, she almost did.
'di ba? Olivia was almost stepping closer
Kasi
and
ganun
closer.
na si Supergirl, like wala na dun sa opponent yung tingin.
Oo. She got, dapat kasi sana, Barbie should have picked her spots. Yung tipong barrage ka, atras kang konti, nakita mo magana yung mukha, barrage ka uli. Medyo na-excite siguro siya, tapos inubos niya yung sarili niya sa second round. Third round, I kid you not, okay? I rarely agree with the decision sa 1FC, but for this one, for this particular fight, I agree with the judges' scorecards. Given na we're following the same rule set. Kasi if you're talking about the 1FC rule sets na Muay Thai, pwede mong ibigay kay Barbie eh.
Pwede mo ibigay kay
Pwede,
Barbie.
pero hindi pa rin eh. Kasi
we don't know how clear it is, yung rules.
Kasi first round and third round was Supergirl. Diba? You can't say na pwede, kung at the most, tabla yung third round. Pero hindi pa rin eh. Kasi umaatras na si Barbie nun eh. She was backpedaling a lot. She was counter-punching. At kahit na anong rule set ng Muay Thai, kung sino yung umaatras, siya yung natatalo.
Yes. Forward momentum is always rewarded.
Lalo na kung ano natin, modified K1 rules.
Modified. How crazy is it when you ask somebody the rules and they say, tignan dun sa Wikipedia nung K1, like, what?
Diba?
Pero kahit yung Wikipedia natin, K1, asan yung rule set nyo?
Pero kahit sabihin natin modified K1 rules, kung ikaw yung paatras na fighter na counter-punching or counter-attack yung ginagawa mo, pero it's not creating enough damage. Kasi kung ito yun eh, Supergirl was pushing forward. So ito si Barbie, Supergirl, umaatake. Paano kung umatras si Barbie, nag-counter-attack siya, umatras din si Supergirl.
Umatras din,
Yun. Medyo, that's effective counter-striking. Pero yung umaabante si Supergirl, nagka-counter-strike si Barbie, umaabante pa rin si Supergirl. I mean, the rule set worked towards Supergirl's advantage. Medyo alam niya how to move around it, how to navigate it. She knew how to survive. But that's what
kasi
she did. She survived.
Been fighting since 8 years old, diba?
Ang hindi lang niya siguro in-expect was fighting with MMA gloves kasi lumulusot yung ibang suntok. Kitang-kita mo eh pag yung mga
there's like 4 or 5 out of the 30 na pumasok, like, oy,
lumusot. And when she was covering, ang mga lumusot yung nasa corners kasi nga
kaya siya nahilo, no?
MMA gloves siya. And Barbie looks like a very strong woman. The gayot factor, the cuts.
That woman is a whole lot ripped.
So again, I hope matutunan to ng mga nanonood na pag sasali kayo sa isang Muay Thai tournament, if you're joining a Muay Thai tournament, always remember, the emphasis will always be the kicks. The emphasis will always be kicks, knees. Yun.
If you're in doubt, ask your coach.
Di ba? Tandaan niyo yan. And ano rin kami dito. We know what we're talking about because we're Muay Thai Association of the Philippines members. So,
pero would you think ba na, given na yung mga tao kasi, most of the people, if not halos lahat halos lahat nga talaga ng tao na nanood ng laban.
I understand the frustration.
Na si Ekaterina won, Barbie won because of the flurry of strikes that she
dramatic
did all throughout.
Of the second round.
Pero, would you think na para sa mga ganito, at least they could some sort of something similar to CompuBox na bibilang ng landed strikes?
Dapat
magiging guide for this?
Ang CompuBox kasi for punches yan eh. How will they account for kicks?
Modified din natin. Parang yung
modified
CompuBox na may kasama sipa and tuhod.
Diba?
Dapat talaga may nagbibilang, diba? Significant.
Dapat totoo yan. You have to account for, kasi that's what I looked at when I reviewed the fight. How many kicks did Supergirl throw compared to Barbie's? So, lamang sa sipa si Supergirl. Next, saan pa lumamang si Supergirl? He had a lot of push knees. Excuse me.
Kasi ganun yung style niya. Clinch. Yeah.
Tapos siya nag-initiate ng clinch. These are all facets of Muay Thai. Kumbaga, yung buong arsenal ng isang Muay Thai situation, ginawa lahat ni Supergirl.
Yeah.
Versus Barbie, that kind of adhered towards kickboxing rules.
Yes. Heavy hands.
Heavy hands, 'di ba? Little utilization of the legs. Now, kung nakipagsabayan sa sipaan si Barbie, it would have been a different scenario. If Barbie would at least have utilized her clinch, yung siya yung nag-clinch, tapos she threw a lot of knees, kahit na sabihin natin tumama lang sa legs yan, pero nakikita ng judges, ikaw yung nag-initiate ng clinch, you were the person controlling the plum, and then you were attacking with your knees. Another set of advantage sa yun. Pero unfortunately hindi niya ginawa yun eh. Yun yung mga maliliit na bagay. Yun yung mga maliliit na bagay kung bakit nanalo si Supergirl. It was a very close fight. That's why I judged it split decision for Supergirl.
For Supergirl. Another frustration for me is really how Barbie did not go to the body even once during her flurry.
Like, yun nga, she got weird. She got tunnel vision.
Siya so red and like, crap. Ang liit ng babae na to, I can overwhelm her, ganyan.
Yun. She saw that she was
Supergirl
bigger.
looks like a little girl.
Diba? And she knew that she could bully her around na she can probably finish it off. Yun nga lang.
Unusually tough girl.
Diba? Supergirl is just ako talaga nakita ko lang Supergirl knew the rules. She was more comfortable with the rules. She knew what to do. She wasn't really doing anything. She was moving by instinct. Ako tingin ko parang walang game plan si Supergirl.
And you could hear her corner, di ba na?
Di ba parang, okay, Muay Thai to. Di ba? Lumaki ako nagmo-Muay Thai. Alam ko kung paano manalo dito. Suntok. Okay, lumapit ka, push knee. Okay, lapit ka, push knee uli. Lapit, push knee uli. Tas sipa uli. Alam niya kung paano pubuntos. It's that simple.
Veteran moves.
Pero this is not the first time na, I guess, may mga fighters na who got confused with the rules.
Yes.
Which
not the first time.
There's a problem
in
with
the Super Series.
Kasi nga modified. Dapat may fine print na yan eh. Dapat si 1FC mag-fine print sila. Okay, this is a suggestion to the higher ups of one championship. Utilize the fine print of the rule sets, MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, 'di ba? Kung ano mang nyo, put it in your website so that everyone can
And doon din sa one championship na magazine na binibigay niyo every event. Sana man
sana nandun, yes.
So that people can have a better understanding kasi the promotion is growing, the promotion is reaching different countries. Marami nang si one championship. So,
sa kanila.
Attention, 'di ba? Eyeballs nandun na. Ngayon, bad calls like this, 'di ba? I mean, it wasn't really a bad decision, but people saw or that people felt that Barbie was robbed. Now,
Yeah.
Chatri says na they're not gonna review the fight anymore. They'll just do an immediate rematch, which is also another good step towards redemption for fighters that thought that there was injustice.
They should have
However,
won. Yeah.
balik tayo sa rule sets. Now, everything that I said is based on based on Muay Thai rule sets na medyo traditional.
Yes.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, may sariling, yun nga di ba? Kita mo si One Championship, modified K1 rules.
Whatever that is.
So, why not just say this is a kickboxing, di ba?
With MMA gloves.
Diba? Why not kickboxing with MMA gloves? Why, diba? If you're gonna say, tama ba? Sila ba nagsabi na Muay Thai, ang rule set are modified K1 rules?
Ganyan din, coach, nga yung controversy with Pitch Morocco tsaka si Petrosian.
Yeah.
Diba?
Ganyan.
Diba? Why not say modified Muay Thai rules? Why adapt K1? Diba? Is it a branding thing?
I want our audience to weigh in really on this one.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of I'm sure there's a lot of knowledgeable people on our feed that's watching right now.
Basta take into account the rule sets of Muay Thai. Kasi ako, the way I judged that fight, kasi it was categorized as a Muay Thai fight. So I judged it, I observed it based on a Muay Thai rule set. And yan, yung mga, lalo na yung mga OGs ng Muay Thai, please, di ba?
Please, let us know.
Would love to know your thoughts about this. Di ba? And understand, especially when it comes to the rule set. So, again, let us know who you think really won and why. Di ba?
And why.
Thank you, MJ, Marlon Jeff. Yan. MJ thinks na Barbie won.
Jeff. Napapansin na daw, sabi niya kanina.
Diba? Coach Alfonso Sergo, thank you so much for watching. Diba? Luta Libre, Black Belch.
Big respect. Thank you for watching.
Everyone.
Good job beating COVID, Mestre.
I don't think COVID can beat Coach Alfonso. Parang I don't see that.
He's gonna like COVID lang.
Yeah, he's gonna heel hook that shit.
I'm so glad he's recovered. 2 weeks din siya nawala.
Diba? Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. As always, all of our past episodes are going to be on the page. So they're also on the YouTube channel. So if you want to recap, if you want to get reminders on the items that we discussed, they'll be on the page all the time. Thank you so much to everyone who's watching and listening. Thank you to everyone who shared. Thank you everyone sa mga nag-like. Maraming salamat po sa mga nag-like. Ayan, nakita mo yung Destroy MNL. Okay? Please follow Destroy MNL on Facebook, Instagram. Follow Karl De Mesa and JC Reyes. Look at their handles. Those are their handles on social media. Diba? JC Reyes and I are on TikTok. Si Tito Karl, konti na lang. Binubuyo po namin dahil kailangan ng TikTok ang kanyang artistry at creativity sa TikTok. Binubuyo po namin siya. I am on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Another episode of Combat Sports Weekly. Bye-bye. Boost your